Smishamadi Shannon Lamond, agus ha mi show at beinnmhabu, a Gian of Shannon residency. So I'm Mary Jane Lamond, and I'm here at beinnmhabu doing the Shannon residency. It's been really wonderful to be here. A few things that I really loved about it. First of all, it's really great to be able to just be somewhere where you decide you're going to be focused on something. So in my case, I'm a Gaelic singer, so I've been working on learning Gaelic songs and doing some transcribing. The other thing I really love about it is that although you're here working by yourself, there's lots going on around you. I had a really nice time teaching some of the students some Gaelic songs a few evenings, and I transcribed a little song and story and shared that with the children at the school. I was over at the Thai School in Adrachacha a few times, enjoying that with the little people. And cultural exchange as well with my fellow artist in residence, Brendan O'Begley, and we actually spent an evening where he translated a Scottish Gaelic song into Irish so he could take a song home with him to Ireland. And he's an Irish speaker, so we have lots of, in fact, he's been emailing me today with little Shannon proverbs. So I'm not going to repeat them. Yeah, so it's been really good. And also, I was also able, like, the internet is fantastic here. That's one thing I have to say. And so I was able to also continue work. I work on a research project at CBU around the Cape Breton Folklore Project. So I've been doing a bit of that as well. One thing about being in this location in Mhabu is that as you know, as a person who's interested in Gaelic culture, Gaelic language, it's great to be able to go out to things at Drochage, like music times, or inviting to somebody's house where you have your whole supper through the language, and just lots of Gaelic conversations here in the building too with Kenneth and Colin McDonald, and just I think it's particularly if you're interested in the culture and Gaelic culture, or that this is a really good place to be. Also, it's a beautiful location, and the building itself is really interesting, and yeah. What drives me to be interested in Gaelic song and the culture? I'm just in it for the money. No. Why am I still have a passion for this? I wonder about that myself too. I mean, it's been decades that I've been doing this, and I still get excited when I find a song I haven't heard before. I find something I really want to learn. I'd say I had quite a long period there for about 4 or 5 years where I wasn't really, I was working, learning, like always try to learn, and learning to teach more and that sort of thing. But I think just more recently I'm feeling quite excited. I think it's digging into the Cape Breton folklore collection that was done, and I actually live in the house that was built by Jo Neil McNeill and John Shaw, who did the collection. So Jo Neil McNeill, a famous Shannon from here, and yeah, I feel the spirit. And why I'm so passionate, I think it's just because it's all very beautiful, and the songs are beautiful, the tunes are great and lively. There's such a rich depth to the literature and the history, and you know, I think one thing about this reminds me of one time I asked Jo Neil McNeill, board Gaelic, how do you say board in Gaelic? And he said, he said, I don't know. He said, I was never bored. And I think that's one thing about the Gaels that you can take away from visits with our elders and so on, is that they have such lively minds and curious minds, and always learning and sharing. So, and it's also a culture very much about sharing. It's a very communal culture. I think for potential students and other artists to come here, I'd say, like I mentioned before, this is a place where the culture really lives, and you can experience it. And even if you don't have Gaelic, you can still absorb it. There's events going on and dances and so on. I would encourage people to get out. But also that you have your own space here. Like there's no big expectation that you're going to do any of the things that I mentioned, but you can if you want. But you could also just be very focused, but still have the pleasure of, you know, being around young people. And yeah, I would say definitely say for students in particular, this it's an intimate group, and you're living together and working together and living in a community where there is still Gaelic. So I'd say if you're interested in the topic, this is a good place to come.